Today I'll be reviewing and discussing DAOstack. So generally speaking, DAOs are open, self-organized collectives coordinated by economic incentives and self-executing code, and they cooperate around shared goals. And the problem here specifically that DAOstack is hoping to deal with is that the internet opened the door for real-time information exchange at a worldwide scale, but it lacks the economic means for, quote, general purpose coordination and global peer production. What this means in simpler terms is that information exchange is possible, but there's no built-in financial incentive structure for much more than that to happen automatically. And this is where DAOs and blockchain technology enter. And DAOstack's approach is to solve sort of two specific subproblems. The first one is that current DAOs lack a consistent and proven governance system. In other words, sort of risky to use them if you don't know what an autonomous thing will do at scale without proper controls. The second problem is that many aspiring organization builders or front-end developers are intrigued by the concept of DAOs, but they don't have the blockchain and coding experience to experiment with them, so it's a technical limitation. Now, that being said, there's no shortage of challenges for anyone looking to solve these problems. And to succeed and to be relevant, DAOstack needs to build a huge developer community. Can they do that? That's what we need to see. Secondly, DAOstack is still built on Ethereum. There are questions as to whether that's scalable, given the Ethereum limitations that we've been discussing for some time now. And lastly, DAOstack's governance methodologies are as yet unproven. They're interesting, they're fascinating, they have huge potential, but they're not yet proven. And that gets us to the sort of solution that DAOstack is proposing, that what they want to do is ambitious, but it's very, very interesting. So to refresh, DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organizations, and it could be a revolutionary concept out of the blockchain world. DAOs are organizations in which contracts and agreements are enforced through blockchain smart contracts. Because there's no overseeing force needed to authorize a smart contract, sort of in the same way that no overseeing force is needed to authorize a Bitcoin transaction, right? DAOs have radical potential to create distributed and decentralized organizations. And DAOstack's founder, Matan Field, says, quote, DAOstack provides the foundational tools for the creation, operation, and governance of DAOs internally and externally within a broader ecosystem. In a nutshell, it can be regarded as an analog of WordPress for DAOs. So DAOstack is quite literally attempting to build a stack of tools that developers would need to use to make building DAOs easier, more efficient, more secure, and more predictable. And the DAOstack would provide, number one, decentralized collaboration, right? An incentive to build on top of the DAO itself to improve it. A decentralized cooperative, ownership of DAO tokens, and ownership or a share in the DAO profits or decision-making. All of that will go together. And a decentralized curation network. It will organize around the creation of content, basically users agreeing that the DAO is an honest arbiter of knowledge, in a sense. Some use cases of DAOs and DAOstack include that decentralized curation, which I alluded to, which is sort of an emerging use. It can include websites, articles, news feeds where the contributors are the owners, editors, and users. DAOstack would make it easier to collectively rank the quality of objective world subjects, right? It could be hotels, restaurants, and shops, all on the blockchain. Decentralized ownership in organizations such as decentralized investment funds or insurance networks, charitable organizations, value is shared between stakeholders. DAOstack offers effective mechanisms for collective decision-making, enabling crowds to co-own and co-manage assets and funds. And their team is very interesting. As I mentioned, DAOstack's founder is Matan Field. He has a degree from the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel. He brings a wealth of experience. And that gets us to the ICO portion of the token sale. GEN is the native token of the DAOstack platform, and basic operations across the DAOstack ecosystem, like for example, promoting proposals, will require the spending of or holding of GEN. And GEN is going to be distributed to contributors of value through the DAOstack framework itself, incentivizing development, incentivizing promotion and adoption. So big picture, DAOstack is a very important project for the blockchain ecosystem. They bring a structure and a framework to the creation and management of DAOs. They're going to create opportunities for more developers to build on top of these systems. And the key will be that as more and more other top projects continue to build DAOs, for example, 0x has announced a DAO for decentralized exchanges, there's going to be an increased need for proven standards and a consistent stack of tools and frameworks for having oversight of these autonomous organizations. The DAOstack team has the right credentials, they have the experience to make this project successful, and they have a credible plan to incentivize the ecosystem to participate in their project. This is a review of the project. It is not investment advice. Everybody should do their own research before making any financial and investment decisions in any particular token or project.